What's up, guys? Filming the commentary for my first heavy upper day, which is going to be week 1, day 2. The training footage was really short in this video, so I'm going to explain a couple things before I get into it, and also I'm going to lay out my nutrition for this cycle at the end of this video, just to make it a little longer, because the training footage is literally like 3.5 minutes, something like that. But what I'm doing is, you'll see in the next clip that I have, for each of my workouts, I'm going to be posting exactly what I did that day in the lower left-hand corner. So you'll see that when I posted, the 2 optional exercises that I chose for my heavy upper day aren't on there because I didn't get to the optional exercises, so I didn't actually do them that day, so they're not in the scheme of what I did that specific day. If you want to see what I plan to do for all 4 weeks of this cycle, go ahead and check out the video, the first video in this series, which lays everything out. But basically, what I want to talk about is the optional exercises on this. When Candido says optional exercises, he really means optional. Not only are you given several options of what you get to choose to put in for those exercises, they are truly optional. If you don't have time to do those exercises, or you just don't feel like it, you don't have to. I'm going to just explain my nutrition goals later on, and so for me, it makes more sense to do them as often as possible, to get in as much volume as possible, to do as much work as possible. However, if I don't have time, I don't sweat it. I just don't have time. Alright, so as you can see, I started off with bench press. My form is really inconsistent. As you can also see, I'm pretty fluffy right now, but you'll see my nutrition goals later on. My form is really inconsistent, and here I think is the widest grip that I took on this day. I've been experimenting with bringing my grip in closer because I do have really short arms, and it's actually becoming a problem with me unracking the weight. My arms are so short that when I unrack the weight, while I wasn't in a full rep, when I unrack the weights, my shoulders get loose. So I'm really working on making sure my shoulders stay pinned to the bench and that I stay tight throughout the whole movement. And you can see me lose tightness through this. Like, you see how my body got flatter and flatter throughout that entire set. So I'm really working on consistency in my form and just being able to stay tight. So I'm going to be training myself more to break the bar, and to drive my traps in. I think I need to think of this movement more as me pushing my body into the bench than me pushing the bar away from my body. Also, on some of these reps, it looks like when I bring the bar down, my left side, so what will be the right hand side of the screen, it looks like that side of the bar dips down more quickly than the rest of the bar, and then that my, when I'm pressing the bar, it comes up evenly. Also, I want to comment on, if you look at my right arm, you guys might be thinking that I'm not locking that arm out. My arm actually does not lock out. I dislocated my elbow probably 5 to 6 years ago, and I have a growth of, like a calcium growth beyond my, behind the joint of my elbow that makes it impossible for me to completely lock out my elbow. So if it looks like they're not locked out evenly, that's why. I physically can't do it. But yeah, you can really see how the bar is traveling weird on this one. And at the end of this set, I actually failed with 115 pounds. And I decided to still include it because I think this was some of the best form that I had. And I'm really proud that I failed because I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I brought it down, touched, and then failed. Usually if I fail, it's because I can't even get the bar to touch. So I'm really proud of myself for that. Next I moved on to some barbell rows. Very awkward movement for me because I haven't done it before. I'm trying a lot of new movements in this. This is a very awkward camera angle as well. I'm going to work on that. But I should have taken those shoes off. The shoes I'm wearing are the New Balance shoes you saw on the bench clips. And I should have taken them off and done it barefoot and been on a flatter surface. I felt like I would have been able to pull more weight. I should have tried more weight than this. I feel like this wasn't enough weight, and it was causing me to just throw my body around, which was just dumb. But I was, again, like I said, I was in a hurry. I had a meeting, so I was just like, let me just take this bar over here and just do it. So these are my 3 sets of that. I didn't film my set of lat pull downs because those are kind of boring, and also the time constraint. I used like 130 pounds for those. I probably should have used more weight considering it was just 1 set. But hey, everything's a learning experience. I felt this last set was really controlled, and I really focused on scapular retraction on that one. And then you have my OHP set, which I felt really good about. I felt like I could have used 35 pounds instead of 30, considering that it was just 1 set of 6. But again, I'm still learning where everything is comfortable for me. Alright, so I'm going to let this clip play out, and then we'll get into the nutrition aspect of the cycle. since this video is a little bit shorter than the others for this week, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and tack on my nutrition for the cycle to the end of it. So instead of just making 2 separate videos. So basically what I'm going to do for my nutrition on this cycle is I'm going to be trying to stay in a caloric deficit for most of it, which I know probably seems a little counterintuitive considering that I'm doing strength and hypertrophy at once. But basically my goal, is to lower my body fat percentage just to a more quote-unquote male range, so that I can aid in having a more masculine physical representation. So this cut really has nothing to do with my athletic performance or even with making a weight class. It has everything to do with my own physical appearance and with my transition. So really, originally when I first got into fitness, it was directly related to my transition and trying to appear more masculine. And so I'm still trying to reconcile those goals with my goals in getting into powerlifting. And so I decided I would take this time now to work on my own, aesthetic goals, which really is not the same connotation that a lot of people have on YouTube, which is really when they say to be aesthetic is to either be as proportioned as possible to do physique or something like that, or to be just as huge as possible to do bodybuilding. I really don't have any interest in either of the two. It's just my own personal goals as far as aesthetics go. So what I'm going to be doing for this cycle is I'm going to be on, my macros are 248 carb, 165 protein, and 61 fat, which adds up to 2,200 calories, which seems like kind of a lot to cut on, especially for a person as small as myself, but I do have a pretty fast metabolism. It has been a lot easier for me to lose weight since I started taking tea in January, and also what I'm going to do throughout this cut is increase my activity by adding in GPP days, which are general physical preparedness and cardio, in order to stay in a caloric deficit while still being able to eat a lot of food. And I really think that throughout this cut, I'm still going to be able to gain strength and gain muscle. If you check out Powerlifting to Wins channel, I'll link the video in the description below. Izzy has a video about how he definitely built a lot of strength. He added, I think, 100 pounds to his total, while losing, I think he said, around a pound a week for 12 weeks. So it can definitely be done as long as you're watching your macros well. So I'm really going to try to track my macros as much as possible and make sure that I'm hitting this. 165 protein is definitely more than I need. So I really just have it there to be safe. And also because I'm tracking using myfitnesspal, and it makes you use really round numbers for percentages. Like, you can only choose multiples of 5 and multiples of 10. So you can't put 32% protein or 28% protein. You have to put 30, 25, 35, those are the numbers you can choose. So that's why they ended up being like this. But I weighed in on, I think, Thursday at 158.2, and so 165 protein is definitely more than a gram per pound. I'm not really going to do a 1.5 grams per pound because I don't think that I really need all that much protein. My carbs are, to me, they're kind of high, and that's just because of the options I have available to me. I also am a vegetarian, which I don't know if I mentioned before or not. So our options are really, really carb heavy in terms of what proteins are available to us as vegetarians. So I find that my carb to protein ratio is really high on the carb side. So I increased that's one of the reasons that I had to increase my calories and start doing more work, was just that my carbs were lower and I felt fine, but I just wasn't able to fit my protein, and I just was not ready to start seeing a hit to my strength. So I just raised that, and I'm just going to add in some GPP days. So Wednesday, my program calls for a rest day. I'm definitely going to be going in and doing some GPP work. I'm probably going to be doing some farmers walks and stuff like that, and then also just some general core work, just because I feel like I need that. So that's basically what my nutrition is going to be like. And I'll put a link to my myfitnesspal in the description, as well as my Instagram, which I'm going to start tracking a lot more strictly, so you can see what I'm eating and call me out if you want to for not tracking based on that. And also I'm going to try to update my Instagram. I'm really bad about that, but I'm going to try. So that way you can see the difference in my physique, because I don't think I'm going to put I'm not going to put a starting physique up here right now. I just don't feel like doing that. Alright, so now I've turned a short video into a long video. So thank you guys. If you're already subscribers, thanks for coming back. Really appreciate you. Love the support. If you're new, welcome aboard. And to everybody involved, thanks for watching.